these days I'm just going to have like a big stick.
You need a camera, a
or
selfie
remote
stick.
control.
Yeah,
You
you
do.
do.
Selfie stick.
There you go. That would be a nice innovation.
I think
right?
so.
Yeah.
Well, they have like little remotes and stuff you can have.
Robotics.
I just haven't got it yet. Or I could just hire a robot.
Yeah, that
just
will be self-intelligent camera. It will
press
move.
it. AI.
AI.
We're talking AI.
Voice enabled.
I could get Alexa to start it for me.
We probably could.
Alexa, start recording. I do not understand that command. Okay, all right, we digress. If you're ready, I'm ready.
I'm ready. Let's
all right,
go.
Here we go. A 3, a 2, a 1. Hey, we are here at the 2018 CUNA GAC in Washington, D.C. We are here with the lovely, talented, and highly energetic Shazia Manis from Co-op Financial Services. How are you?
I am doing wonderful. Thank you for having me here.
You're welcome. It's always a pleasure having you in the studio lounge.
And I always have fun talking to you.
Good, good. And the feeling is mutual. It's so much fun because you never know what's going to happen.
It won't, because I don't stick to script. So it will be very spontaneous.
We kind of have a script here, but I'm looking forward to our conversation because it's talking about integration is innovation.
Yes.
And we're also going to talk about my co-op as well.
Yes.
Your new client access portal. But first of all, I wanted to ask you how the conference is going for you guys.
It's been fantastic. I think yesterday my favorite was George Bush's conversation.
Yeah.
It just it just brought in really a good perspective on just from a political, from a macro, and from the credit union movement to hear in a very informal, in a very real, in an authentic way. I could probably listen to him for another 30 minutes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So it was a great way of kicking off, and Jim did a fantastic job showcasing some of the innovation with, Alexa and where the artificial intelligence and what the business model of the credit union would evolve with, this whole notion of collaborative economy, where people are taking ownership of the experience, and where we as an industry need to go. So it was a wonderful way of kickstarting the event.
Yeah, I heard nothing but great things about it as well. So let's talk about integration is innovation. That's kind of the tagline for today. Can you expand on that a little bit for us?
Absolutely. So we co-op, we really look at it. The true innovation is all about modifying your own internal DNA to create a new and a better version of your old self, right? So we really looking at the fintech and others. How do we bring that into the credit union movement? And that's where co-op is really well poised and positioned to kind of leverage its different lines of business and make it all work together as one unified ecosystem. So it's not working in a disjointed way, and all working together so the experience is consistent, it's secure, it's seamless, it's predictable. That's where we are in this journey. I call it digital transformation.
Indeed.
And we are on this journey alongside our clients. So as we are learning, we definitely feel a stake in sharing our learnings, our pitfalls, and our challenges. So together as an industry, we can move on that path.
Right on, and that kind of segues into my next question is you guys just recently launched My Co-op.
Yes.
The client access portal, which is kind of consolidating everything and kind of making it all one easy, efficient thing instead of being very splintered. You're all in one.
Exactly.
So can you explain a little bit more?
And that goes in with the theme of integration is innovation. So My Co-op is the first sort of tangible execution arm of the two companies coming together with the TMG acquisition, leveraging the technology and the tools and capability. For the last 7 months, we've been working very relentlessly. How do we pull all of these different bites and pieces we have into one single entry point? Through this portal, our clients will have now easy access to the co-op ecosystem. It is PCI 3.0 compliant, so security is top-notch. And then once you get in there, you just click and point and click, and you can navigate all of the tools and application you use. Now, I do want to mention this is first edition. First phase is a multi-phase, multi-year, multi-iterative innovation. We will continue to adapt and enhance the features and functionality that we will roll out in the upcoming releases in the coming years, and you'll continue to see us, again, blending in those things that are maybe separate and dispersed. How do we digitally pull it together? So it's very, very exciting.
So why is it, it's exciting, but can you tell me the significance of it?
Yeah, so
the importance of it all.
The system, the biggest importance is efficiency. So today, clients who work with us, they have to click on different tools. The staff has to go sign on, have to maintain 40, 50 different username and password. They don't have to do any of those. It will be one place, one username, and they can also authenticate the transaction in multiple ways. They can, the authentication will happen via text, so you put in your password, it will send you a text, you will verify, go in, ingest it, how do you use it in a meaningful way, and then how do you make decision based on that. So there's that one dimension of having your hand and access to the data assets that quote unquote you think you have it, but do you really have it? And then when you have it, is it in a digestible way that you can really take action? And the second piece, again on the data side, is the security and the protection, right? I mean, I've always said that security and convenience are not mutually exclusive. It's an and, right? So how do you have a good data governance? You have a good framework on security protection from an info security standpoint with the protecting against the breaches. How do you have that layered governance internally? Those are the things that I get to hear from the clients. Is it's not even a question of will I do it? I want to do it. Get me engaged. How do I get there?
You're gonna have to do it.
Yeah, that's sort of the biggest thing I see around the
Gotcha.
That topic.
Gotcha. So how is CUBROad working with credit unions today to help them leverage integration strategies to achieve this innovation?
So first of all, as we step back and we designed our strategic priority and our digital transformation, we are sharing that with our client, that what are the best practices, the 7 strategies that you need to really look into pivoting your digital transformation. So one is sharing, the shared learning. The second piece in a tangible way would be when it comes to digital first, we know we have to walk the talk. So initiative like Springboard, which is our flagship product, we continue to pour in capital and enhancement to make that more enhanced.
Right?
Yes, so we embedded that in my co-op. So that's a huge focus to make sure that tool stays, contemporary and it has all the bells and whistles. My co-op would be another tangible. How do we pull Springboards and other application into one container to make it easy? We're looking at cardless cash. How can you stage a ATM transaction in advance, just like you order meal and you go pick it up? How do you stage the transaction and go to the ATM and use QR code? So we're digitizing ATM access. How do you embed that in the loyalty? So like we just announced co-op BP at the pump, that you essentially use your points and rewards in the gas pumps to pay towards your gas purchases. So everything that we have within our ecosystem, we're looking at it, how can we digitize that? Data, obviously transaction optimization, we are building predictive models to really help credit unions grow their portfolio. We're standing up our artificial intelligence. It's at an early stage, it will continue to evolve. The best way credit unions are getting engaged probably more with machine learning. They're using the data and using the statistical hypothesis model to really build decision that a human person analyst would take thousands of hours. So how can you make that maybe in 2 minutes, 3 minutes? So that's where they're entering the world of AI through machine learning. But as AI becomes more sophisticated, you will see voice-enabled chatbot, you will see digital assistant, you will see authentication, and you will see more other IoT type of enablement of payments. So I think they're open to it. They're looking to co-op and other technology provider to help them walk that path of technology.
It's still kind of science fiction right now.
It is, and yet it is not, because if you look back in 1950, AI has been around for that long, right? I mean, I think the year I was born, Mycin, a pharmaceutical company, they were actually detecting like what you call infection better than a human pathologist. So it's been there. What has happened is the cost of computing has gone down. You have supercomputers, you have better storage, and you can automate and build supercomputers a lot faster. So the concept is not old, it's just what has happened, it has been democratized, and it's now accessible to more people. So I think you're going to continue to see that as we move.
Last question, because I know you got a busy schedule. I'm asking everybody, what do you want to learn here? What are your goals? What do you want to achieve at GAC to take back to co-op?
I want to learn what is and how we will build the next generation. What will be the profile of the credit union members as the profile and the demographic of U.S. changes in the next 5 years?
Is Vicky going to stay here? She's going to hover. I like it. All right. If you're ready, sir, I'm ready.
Let's do it.
Let's have some fun. All right, hey, we are here at the 2018 CUNA GAC in this town called Washington, D.C. And it looks like a lovely summer day outside with the sun out there.
It's really teasing us. I've told it's about 60 degrees. It looks really sunny, and we're here in the convention center.
Having a good time.
We are having a good time.
Talking to Ryan Donovan here. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. This has been a phenomenal conference so far.
It's been stellar.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the talk has been about former President Bush being here.
I'm a little worried, Mike.
Why?
How are we going to top this next year? I don't know.
That's a good question.
But no, it has been really neat.
Yeah.
We loved to have the president here yesterday speaking to the conference. We've had the NCOA board members. Mick Mulvaney brought down the House earlier today, and we're looking forward to having a series of members of Congress speak to the conference, just as we always do. But they're going to deliver a message that they strongly support credit unions, that they understand the regulatory burdens that we're facing, and that they're ready to do something about it.
And that brings me back to your question, how are you going to top next year? My gosh. I mean,
well, we're going to
pretty much had a...
The great thing is we always try to put ourselves in the best position, and we're going to have some elections later this year, and the outcome of that's really uncertain right now. Democrats might take control of Congress. Who knows? Whatever happens, we're going to be really well positioned. And we're going to have a credit union majority in Congress, and that's going to be great for credit unions, and it'll be great for the GAC in 2019 too.
Of course. Well, let's talk. Well, speaking of that, let's talk about advocacy efforts in 2018, going into next year. So, what can we expect this year? What do we need to do for 2018, and why is 2018 important?
We are on the precipice of having regulatory relief legislation passed through the Senate, and really on a track to become law. And that's real exciting. It's something that we've been hoping for, working on for several years. And as I was telling the group yesterday during our advocacy briefing, we're at a place this year where our key ask couldn't be any clearer. Yes on S2155. That's what I need folks to go to the Hill and talk about this week. And so we're hopeful that in a couple weeks that bill will be on the Senate floor, maybe even as early as next week.
Wow.
And we're working to make sure that when the Senate passes that bill...
Wow.
Yeah.
So you got number 1 and 2.
We got number 1 and 2. So that's how we start with our unified voice. Coming out of the GAC, what we're going to need folks to do is remember that advocacy is a process, not an event. So we need folks to be following up with their members of Congress, following up with their senators, and certainly as we get close to a Senate vote on this legislation, making sure that they're communicating with those offices, that they're having their staffs, their volunteers, and even their members sending messages in that say yes on S2155.
Okay, and when you say communication, what do you mean by that?
Well,
I'll send a text message, I'll send a letter, I'll send a phone call, or
all of the above, Mike.
Okay.
I mean, we've got we're doing this fantastic phone to action where you can send a text message through your phone straight to Capitol Hill, and there's information about that on our website.
I like that.
You can send an email, you can send a letter, drop off a note at the district office. What we try to do in terms of delivering our message to Congress is to make sure that we are saturating policymakers with our message, so that they're not just hearing from it from our lobbyists here in Washington or the advocates with the leagues, but that they're hearing it everywhere they go, here in Washington, back at home, and they're hearing it from different voices, professional advocates, credit union professionals, credit union volunteers, and yes, credit union members too. So any way you can get the message through, let's get the message through.
And what's the message? What do you want them to say?
The message is that it's time for common sense regulation, and the Senate's put together a bipartisan common sense regulatory relief bill. It's S2155, and it's time to vote yes on S2155.
Okay. And what can they do to capture the attention of their representative? Because you can talk about the legislation, of course. Yeah, so what else can they?
Well, I think it's the stories, right? Okay, so it's every credit union's got a great story. They were founded for a particular reason, to meet a need of a particular group, and every day they're serving their communities. So those stories are incredibly powerful to help reinforce the reason why we need this legislation. You know, we didn't cause. I started my talk yesterday. I walked up to we didn't start the fire. We didn't start the fire. But we're certainly getting burned by it in terms of over-regulation. And it's time for us to set aside one-size-fits-all regulation, to allow the regulation, which is necessary, to be tailored for the size and complexity of the institution. Credit unions didn't cause the problem, but they're certainly being asked to be part of the solution. We want to be part of the solution. and it starts with common sense regulation. Right. Thank you, Mike,
thank you
so much.
Always for your time
you
and
bet.
all your efforts. You guys do a great job, so keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Well done, sir.
All righty.
Good job.